Good to see you all again. So this session is going to be on flow and RPA. What is flow? What is RPA for those of you who don't know? And what are some use cases that this can solve? And then in the last 1 year, what we have done and what is there in pipeline for the next year and what we are doing further. So that's what I'll be covering in this 40-minute session. The first thing that came to my mind when I think of Houston was the NASA space station. If we see in our day to day life, we do a lot of work and a lot of time we get into a lot of, we think, oh, we have to deal with a lot of problems. And why don't I use my brain and my time for something better? Why do you have to deal with all these things? All of us face it in our day to day life, at work, at home, at all places around us. So if you see the real grind of problems at work, some of the manual things that we keep doing, it could vary from person to person, but these are some things that we picked up, or I was able to pick up, where you do a lot of dealing with data. You extract data, then you copy data from one source to another, migration of data, consolidation of data, and a lot of form filling and invoice processing, formatting, and doing some processes in Excel. These are some things that we end up doing in our day to day life. So these are some processes that we do. Is there anything that you can do to automate this? Is the solution that we come up with, Zoho Flow and Zoho RPA. So I'll get into the details of what each of these products will do. Now, what is Zoho Flow? Zoho Flow is, to put it in simple terms, it's a integration platform. So integration platform to automate softwares and applications using APIs. Connect and automate using API. Integrate, connect, automate. We can call it that way. And particularly, it's using APIs. If you see today, Zoho Flow we have been there for 7-8 years, and we have 900 plus different apps that are supported by the product, where you can integrate with among each other. So that's a one-line definition of what Zoho Flow is. And what is Zoho RPA? So as the word RPA stands, robotic process automation. So robotic, anything that can be mimicked by a bot, that can be automated. And process, certain everything have to have a sequence of steps, so that can be automated. And automation is without manual intervention, if something can run, some process can run, so that is automation. That's what is robotic process automation takes care. In simple terms, it's software bots that can automate processes which fall under 4 categories. Those processes that are manual processes. So think of day-to-day life, we do a lot of lead enrichment, we do a lot of invoice processing, we end up doing a lot of price code generation. Of any domain you take, we do a lot of manual processes. Those processes that are manual can be automated. Those that are repetitive, certain things we keep doing again and again, like the employee onboarding, travel booking, or taking some data backups. So those processes again can be automated. Repetitive ones, rule based. They have to follow a certain set of rules. It cannot be ad hoc. So rule based processing, like loan processing, claim processing, or it could be a contract management. Those can be automated. And the last one is those that require low exception rate. There are a lot of processes where human intervention can lead to a lot of problem, like your payroll processing or your credit card management. In these places, if you see a small human error of adding 1 0 to your numbers will screw up the entire data. We don't want such exceptions to happen. So those processes where low exception rates are required. So I put this under these 4 categories: manual, repetitive, rule-based, low exception rates that you do sit in front of a system and do manually, RPA will be able to do. So that's the definition of both these products. And if you see both these products, both Flow and RPA, it caters to a breadth of industries. Some of you could be from financial services, some of you will be in manufacturing, some of you will be in banking, insurance, travel, retail, IT, education. You take any industry that you belong to, there are hundreds of use cases where these automations will be helpful. So here what I'm trying to do here is, I'm going to do a what is it? We get a lot of contracts, project contract details. We may need to, as a PDF file, you need to extract the entire content of the PDF. There are two ways of doing it. One is manually defining what are the fields that you need to extract. The other way is leaving it to the AI to extract the entire file as one consumable content and use those fields in the further processes. Okay, so that's what we'll be doing here, and use those fields in the further processes. So I'll just quickly run the video. I have everything as set as videos. So what we are going to do is this is how the UI will be for Flow and RPA. So what I'm trying to do here is extract the document. I'm going to give input as a contract document, and once I give that document and say extract using the AI part, we are using the for this extraction we are using a third party LLM because that gave the correct better results. You can bring in your own any LLM and bring this. So now the entire PDF will be converted into the payload that can be used in the further steps of integrating into creating as a project. Now what we can do here is once the data is integrated, so whatever I have extracted, I'm just going to use that in the further steps. Further steps in the sense, we saw that the entire PDF was extracted. Once I get the PDF data, I'm going to use that data and create a project. So the project name or whatever data that was present within the contract PDF itself can be used, and the project name, the client address, the data that was filled here was based on the data that is extracted from the PDF. The PDF is actually a 10-page long PDF, and to extract those fields, AI has been used. It's not done manually. So if you go see, all those, the execution is done, and you can see that it is being filled with the correct data that is there. So that is one use case where AI can be used. And the other use case is, suppose you have handwritten text or handwritten content as a PDF. Those handwritten data also need to be converted into your digital form. So there again, we can make use of AI. So what we do here is any handwritten text. We have just taken a sample handwritten data extraction. You can have any handwritten whatever PDF file that you have, and these are now actually converted into readable format using the AI component, and you can use that to fill in the wherever form you want to fill. And we are using an invoice generation, and we are creating an invoice based on these items that are getting filled or the extracted from the image that we had. So extracting from OCR, you can do manually. That's something that we are doing manually, which I'll show later. But this is using AI, you can fetch these data and put it into the following executions that you have. So there are hundreds of use cases like this, which we are working on in RPA. Likewise, in Zoho Flow also, we have different use cases. One is as like how I think in Creator, we showcased NLP based the Creator app generation. Likewise, in Zoho Flow, you give your NLP as your pattern, and you will be able to create a flow based on that. And that's one of the use case where we are planning to use AI in Zoho Flow. You just mention it as when a new message is sent in Slack private channel, create a document in Zoho Writer, create a record in Zoho Creator, and create an event in Zoho Desk. Finally, create a board in Trello. Whatever you want to do, whatever you plan to do, instead of doing a drag and drop, you just mention that as an NLP statement, your flow will be created. So this is one part where AI is used in Zoho Flow. The other parts are, there are two other fields where you can create a story itself based on the prompt that is given. Sales is a example. So we have hundreds of use cases in sales. One such is code generation. Okay, you want to generate code. So what do we generally do when you want to do a price code generation is, you may want to compare with the competition. That generally sometimes we do. Even though we have our own prices that are listed, once you get you want to do before you prepare that price code, you may want to compare what the competition has done, and based on that, you may want to do a code generation. So that's something you can, the comparison is more like this. These are all just samples that I'm giving here. Okay, this need not be exactly what you want to do, but to showcase what the product is capable of, I'm giving some examples. So the different vendors these are all, you just go to the web and browse and do something, get the data, put it in an Excel file, process and do. So that's what we are going to do now. So what we are going to do here is the RPA bot, what this will do for the code generation is, whatever this is a maybe any procurement application that you have where you say that you want to purchase so and so products, so and so spare parts. This is an automobile industry, so those they want to purchase some spare parts with some quantity numbers that is given. So once you get that, you want to check with two different vendors what are their actual price codes are. So what you can do is you fill all these details. Once you get these details, you fill it in a sheet, Excel sheet. You have an Excel sheet where you would say that these are required. Now you log into one of the vendor portal, and in that portal maybe you need to download the pricing. Pricing could be available in different ways. So you may have to download that and fill that details for one vendor. And for the other vendor, you may have to go to the web browser. This actually the bot is being executed. We have the workflow built and the bot is being done. Bot is doing all this. Go to each and every of the part that is required. It's like scrapping. You take that, put it here, compare, and then do a price generation. So this is just example to showcase how web anything you do on the web and to do with Excel sheets can be automated. So that's one of the example for sales. There could be many. So that's for the RPA part. In the Zoho Flow case, the interesting part is everything runs in the backend. It's all API driven. So I was actually wondering, what do I do for Zoho Flow? How do I demonstrate that? How do I showcase? So I can only showcase how the flow or the connectivity can work because the actual execution happens in the backend. It's all API driven. Once you schedule it, there are different ways of scheduling, schedule and webhook actions and other multiple trigger options are available. And all these are API endpoints. We have 900 different endpoints that are connected using Zoho Flow, and it runs in the backend. Maybe post sales process, you may want to what is that in Begin? If you are using Begin, you can use anything. Okay, when a deal is won, you want to trigger a flow and create a project in Asana and create a signed document and sign it over there and then send message in Slack. The flow will look something like this, but the execution runs in the backend. It's easy to drag and drop. This is how the sections will be. There will be app sections where you have 900 different applications. You can easily drag and drop, and there are decision boxes that are available. So if the deal size is less than $2,500, you may want to do something, some sequence of steps. And if the deal size is greater than some amount, you want to do some sequence of steps. So all those decisions and the task and on error branching, on if something goes wrong, you want to do something else, that is also possible. So likewise, if you generate this, then it all executes in the backend. So these are quick examples for sales. Customer service, which is customer support. Two examples here again. So in customer support for RPA, what we are trying to showcase here is different agents, your support agents may work in different time zones. And all the calls that they take, call recordings may be in the software that is available. You may want to download that and store it in a place. This is just an example that I'm talking about. So the workflow could be on a daily basis. The daily schedule could run anytime. So anytime that you want it to run. Log into the telephony system. Here I'm demonstrating Zoho Voice, which is our telephony system that we use. Get the time zones from the agent profile. Download the call recordings for that particular date. And then the recording will be downloaded as a zip file. You need to create a new folder with the current date and a subfolder for all the time zones that you have, and then move the recording over there. This is something somebody will be doing manually every day. They might miss it. So these are some manual tasks which can be automated, and this is the bot execution of what the process that I've been talking about. So the download, call, recording, every day. The bot can be scheduled to run daily, any time that you want it to run, and it will log into Zoho Voice, get the time zone of a particular agent. There could be multiple agents in your portal. So get a particular time zone, filter the recording by the agent name and the current date because you want to do it every day. And then download all the recording as zip file. Once you do that, repeat the same step for the other agents that you have in your portal. Once you do all that, if you go back and see, after all the download is processed, you will be able to see that the workflow is already built. So you'll be able to see that the folders will be created for each of the day, and then for each time zone, it will be updated. So this is all done by the bot. It's not, you just have to trigger it and it will be done by the bot as and when you want it to do. So this is just one example use case for your customer service ticket. Likewise, in Zoho Flow, see, these are all just samples. Every business, every user, your use case will be totally different. And anyway, we are here to help you with your own specific use cases. So for customer ticket summary processing, so Zoho Desk has a capability for once a ticket is updated, then a flow will be triggered where you want to create summary. Again, there is OpenAI integration with Flow. The OpenAI will be used to create the summary of the tickets that are being processed, and it will be added as an entry in Zoho Creator. It could be in Zoho Creator or it could be anywhere. This is something we also sometimes use because, see, as managers, you may not have, you will not be able to go into the ticketing system and look at each of the tickets in detail. Instead, you may want to look at the summary in one page, just a quick summary of the ticket, then that is possible. You just have to, when a ticket is updated, fetch the details and then have some decision boxes, then use the AI integration, that is OpenAI integration, that is possible, and then go ahead and create a record, or you want to send it as a mail. Anything you want can be, you can do it. Okay. So that is with respect to customer service. For project management, again, so this is again a typical use case. So if you can use, or if you can do some automation using APIs, please do using APIs using Zoho Flow. We don't want you to do a roundabout way of using RPA for everything. When customers talk to me, I first ask them, what is your use case? What are the options what do you really want to achieve? What do you want to do? And what are the relevant products that you have to make use of? Okay. So here there are, this use case was to do with maybe not in software, in other industries that could be there. There are a lot of project proposals and RFCs that come in place before you take up a project. So that could be there available in a system. So when your project is approved, you may want to do a lot of things. We use Zoho projects for tracking the project. Somebody else could use some other project. It could be I think Trello is there as a project management, and there are other project management things, softwares available. So you need to go create a project, create milestone, task list, and you also need some test cases to be done, and you need to create folders, anything that to do with creating of folders, to do with the file systems, and a combination of that. You want to create a Click channel or any other Slack channel, whatever you want to do, and a combination would require a Zoho RPA integration. So that is what we try to do here. This is again, all our applications for use of convenience, we have built it on Creator itself. So that's why you see everything being created in the Creator platform. So once a project, the RFP will be there in the Creator. Once it is approved, you go create all the folders, your requirement, design, testing, whatever is required. And then go into the projects, create a project. If it is only to do with projects, API will be there to do project creation. But a combination of all this, you may have to get in here, create project, create task list, create milestones, or everything that you want to do here, and also do a Click channel for your for communication, because we use Click. If you use something else, you need to create that also, and then come and create a sample test cases, test plans that you need to do. So the entirety of what you do as sequence of startup steps for your project management is possible using automation. Likewise, when a project is completed in Zoho Flow, what do you want to do when a project is completed? You can trigger a flow and add notes in the CRM saying that this project is completed for this particular customer, and you want to create invoice. Because the project is completed, you want to bill them. So you create invoice in Zoho Books and then send a message in Slack. So these are all possible workflows. This all runs in the backend. So just a workflow of when a project is created, Zoho project task updated, and then in Zoho CRM, you fetch the content. And CRM, sometimes you may have to see if when you're updating, what is the current status. Some decisions have to be done. Task is closed, what you need to do. Task is updated, what you need to do. So all those is a flow that we have. Marketing. Yeah, we'll do marketing. Okay. So let me talk about that. The outreach lead validation workflow. So what I want to do here is, what is a typical, the example here is, he was actually running he wanted to run an event. And for that event, he got leads from third parties. From third parties, the leads that he got is not just one or two, he got 3,000 leads. And of those 3,000 leads, he need to log into CRM and find out if this lead is already a customer or not. If they are customers, he should not include them as part of this campaign. If they are not customers, you have to filter and include them as part of the campaign. Now he was like, how do I do this manually for 3,000 entries? I will definitely do some mistake, and it's not easy for somebody to sit and do. Okay, let's fix this use case for him, and that's what we did. So the bot will read from the Excel sheet, look for the existing subscription in CRM, and then update the result back in the sheet. So it's easy for you to filter, get that only the list that is required to be used for your campaign. So that's what we do. And for this example, I've just taken 6 leads. So we just take some leads. Now, using this, open your CRM, go to the account name, filter by that account name, see if that lead is present. If the lead is present or not, based on that, go back and update your Excel sheet. So this is one flow, but the Excel sheet will be continuously, it will look for all other such. Bot will also write back the result to the Excel file. It will look all the other, it look for the entire sheet, all the rows, and it will update it. So once it is updated, so you open the file, you can see if the subscription exists or not and who are eligible for the event outreach program. You can just filter here and take the entire list, use that in your campaign. So this is, otherwise, I didn't include that screenshot where Tribun said, you saved my day. It's not possible for me to be doing this manually. And a lot of other marketers have also started using this. And likewise, in Flow, you can create a lead in marketing based on any form that is submitted. You use multiple forms to collect data. Once a flow is triggered, it will create a record in CRM. And if you want to send a message, it will also send a message. So this is a typical workflow. So likewise, I have for the other 3-4 sections also. It's self-explanatory. Even in the video, we have the text running running at the bottom saying what the bot is doing. Okay. Yeah. That brings us to the last section. So benefits, I don't think I need to be explaining about all these benefits for both the products. The automation is applicable for both. It saves time, it saves money, it increases your productivity, speed, and efficiency. And you can use your time for better things, not sit and do monotonous work. Okay. Now, the question of when to use Flow and when to use RPA. A lot of people get confused. Don't use it interchangeably. A correct ways, or exactly depending on your use case. Use Flow when your apps have APIs. Don't have to do any recording and doing RPA and all. Okay. If you have APIs, use Flow. Most of them are cloud apps. You also have some native integrations also that is available in Zoho Flow. And data exchange across SaaS apps is your main goal. Use Flow. And for RPA, the other thing, when you have to connect with legacy systems and when you don't have APIs, you want to automate web interactions, clicks and interactions. Desktop applications needs to be integrated or automated. And a crisscross of, you need to fetch data from a Windows application and put that data into Excel or put that data into a web. So crisscross of Windows, web, and Excel, you need to use RPA. Both of them are built on the same underlying platform, easy drag and drop features, and all these features I covered. The decision branches, the time delays, error branching, custom functions, all these are available in both the platforms. And you can look at the history of execution, you can save drafts, you can do undo, redo options that are available. And also security, privacy, compliance, we have encryption at rest. The audit is available for your entire workflow. All this is taken care. I'm just quickly going through testimonials. We have testimonials from multiple customers on how Flow has helped them, how RPA has helped them. We have customers using in production the RPA features as well. Now, quickly into what's new in this last 1 year, what we have done and what the team has been working on. I think a lot of people have been asking this. It's also based on customer feedback is what we are doing these features. In Flow, we have these two. Subflows and webhook actions are something that's new here. Subflows is nothing but you may want to reuse a particular flow in many places. So that is when you use subflow, and that will also be available as a trigger for you to include it in your system. That is subflow. Webhook action is, I'm sure you all know about webhook trigger that is there in the flow thing. So that same thing will be used as a webhook in your action. Also, you can make HTTP request and use that directly in your webhook, in your workflow. Now, quickly into what we have built in Zoho RPA. We told that these are some things which we will be doing. And of these, the first thing is, not in that order, including Zoho RPA as part of Zoho One. So this is something many people have been asking us repeatedly. Just last week, we finished this. So if you're Zoho One customer, you already have Zoho RPA in your Zoho One account. You can go and start using it. And we had only US as a data center that we released last year. Then now we have included EU and IN also. Extract table data from web pages is something. These three are live. I wanted to do even the other three, which is nothing but the reading from OCR, reading from PDF. And in case of only web automation, why are you asking me to download a Windows agent? Why don't you give me a Mac agent? That's something people have asked. So I will quickly run through what the table extraction means. So in Excel, you can read the entire table data. Likewise, in web, in your when you're reading from your web, if you have used RPA, you can see, you can click, you can get text, you can do those things. Now, if you have this table, instead of reading each cell at a time, you have an option to extract the table data, and you need to also define where is your next arrow, if next button, if it is a paginated one. Once you define that, we'll be able to get the entire table data in one JSON for you to use it in next workflows. In the subsequent steps of your workflow. This is what we mean by extract table data. And once you run it, you'll be able to see that the entire table data is fetched. So it will open up this is the automation. It will open up the browser. It will fetch all the data. You'll get the entire table data. Now, using this, you can do multiple steps in the following. This is already available in live. And I talked about including in Zoho One. You can see that RPA, they've forgotten to put the new option. But Zoho One, if you go to the app section, you can see RPA there. And these are some things I want to show a glimpse of how you read from OCR. So earlier, what I showed in AI is something in early stages of development. It will take a lot of time. But this is something that we have done. You can define what you want to do in any of the OCR image that you define. You just have to drag and drop, or you just have to define that field, give a variable name to it, and the section, read this section. These are some things that are going to be in only the top section. So you know the exact position where it is going to be. You define that, and once you execute, all those will be converted into a readable format. So that's what reading from OCR actually means. Likewise, in PDF, there is one interesting option, like you can read the entire PDF, but sometimes you want to read a particular section. For that particular section, you need to define it's not the entire content. You need to define the field and the the variable name and the exact data that you want to read. So that option is nothing but your key value pair, the area related to that particular key. So irrespective of the position of the file it is, maybe the file could change, some content could come, but this key value pair will be the same. So you can use that option, and you will be able to get that as your PDF extraction. And Mac and Linux agent, like how we have Windows, we will come up with, Mac and Linux agent also. And you can do all your web automations in that. So I think with that, I'm almost done. Thank you so much.